What's going on, everyone? I'm just an average American here today to react and learn about the richest people in Norway. Now, I'm certainly familiar with the richest people in America, because there's a lot of rich people in America. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all Americans who are billionaires and all that. Yes, every American has heard of these people. I'm sure every Norwegian is familiar with these people, some of the most influential, richest people in the world. But I think there's a lot of very wealthy people in Norway that I'm positive I've never heard of, ever. And I think it's because we tend to focus probably on just the biggest, most influential, owning the biggest, most important companies, but maybe I'll be surprised here, and there's going to be some Norwegian companies that I know of, or that I should know of, or I guess I'm really interested in what these rich Norwegians, how they got their wealth, what kind of companies they own, or where they got all of their money from. And I feel like this is going to be a lot of people I've never heard of. I know Norway does a lot in the oil industry. I don't know if that's going to be part of this, but I'm interested. I'm very interested. So let's take a look.
On vacation many years ago, I found myself on a boat traveling through a stunning fjord on the mountain.
Oh, not to mention that Norway, as a country in the world, is one of the wealthiest, most successful countries. So I'm sure there are many noteworthy, rich Norwegians.
And magnificent coast of Norway. I was taken by the country's people, by its rustic charm, and by its ingrained connection with the landscape. Of course, I was also taken by the luxurious touches found throughout Norway.
This is very dramatic.
Norway is, in fact, one of the wealthiest countries in all of Europe. The
Yes, exactly.
people there have a high standard of living, and their finances are happily spent on luxurious products, beautiful homes, and lavish meals.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to
Man, this just makes Norway sound like a paradise, doesn't it?
take a look at the wealthiest of the wealthy in Norway and see
Okay.
exactly how they managed to cultivate their fortune.
Yes.
Number 5. Johan Johansson.
Johan Johansson. I bet, is it pronounced Johan Johansson? I've never heard or seen this man.
Number 5 on our list still has an incredible fortune and an incredibly Norwegian name. Johan Johansson has a remarkable net worth, equivalent of 1.1 billion US dollars.
1.1 billion. The funny thing is, we live in such a crazy world today that $1 billion, that's an insane amount of money. That is 1,000 million, you know? Another way of putting it. And yet, people have gotten so rich in the world that $1 billion doesn't sound like a lot anymore, but it's outrageous. It's crazy. It's so much. So anyway, just something I was thinking of.
How did he manage to amass such a fortune? Well, he was born into the right family. Johan Johansson's grandfather, also named Johan Johansson, began Joe Johansson, a wholesale grocery company, in 1866.
Joe Johansson, a retail company, a wholesale retail company. Now, this individual was born into the Johansson family, kind of like Walmart in America, where a lot of the Waltons are born into the Walton family and inherit lots of money from Walmart. This seems like kind of a similar story, which I totally forgot. This is going to be incredibly common. People inheriting their wealth is probably one of the most common ways billionaires are made in the world. Not always necessarily from creating the company themselves.
It's a tongue twister. Over the next 100 years, the company grew exponentially, becoming one of the most powerful companies in Norway.
Is this a really popular company in Norway? Joe Johansson? And what exactly did they sell?
In the year 2000, the company was incorporated into Norges Gruppen, which corners the grocery wholesale market with a 43% market share.
I feel like I feel like this narrator is doing the most American pronunciation of these words ever. He's not even trying to pronounce these in any kind of accent other than American. It's funny. Even I can tell. Norges Gruppen.
Johan and his family own nearly 75% of Norges Gruppen, which
Wow.
has made the entire family very, very wealthy.
I
So,
bet.
what does Johan do with his grocery fortune? Well,
Oh, it's a grocery store. It's like a grocery store, like Walmart or Sam's Club or all that.
no one knows. Johan makes a strong effort to keep himself out of the public eye, and has done so for nearly his entire life.
That's what I would do if I was a secret billionaire, part of this family fortune. I would just be really low key. I wouldn't want to be famous. You want to be rich and not famous, you know?
I'd like to imagine him cruising around fjords on a private yacht, eating
Yeah.
his weight in Norway's finest grocery products. But that's just me. Number
Probably.
4, Torstein Hagen.
Torstein Hagen. Torstein Hagen? Torstein
When you
Hagen. I don't know him.
think of Norway, chances are snow, adventure, and Vikings come to mind. There are
Yeah.
some people that have
Snow, adventure, and Vikings. That is what Americans think of when Americans think of Norway.
people that have learned to profit off of that idea, and Torstein Hagen is one of them. Hagen has a staggering net worth equivalent of 2.9 billion US dollars, and that
Wow.
worth was earned by founding a cruise ship company you may have heard of. Viking
Viking Orion.
Cruises was created when Torstein Hagen purchased you may have heard of. Viking Cruises was
Viking Cruises. I don't know a lot about cruises, so I haven't heard of this. But a Norwegian cruise ship line. That is so smart. Because so many people in the world want to visit Norway. Because Norway is awesome. And it's so beautiful. Man, creating a cruise ship line in Norway, I could see where that would be worth billions. That is good.
was created when Torstein Hagen purchased 4 riverboats in 1997. The river cruises quickly became popular, and over the course of 20 years, Viking Cruises managed to break records for the most ships christened in a day, and
Wow. So I admire this. He went from 4 boats to tons of cruise ships, massive cruise ships over the course of 20 years. I actually really respect
came
that.
to operate 70 ships at a time. Unlike
Wow.
Johan, Torstein isn't afraid to spend his fortune. He recently bought an $11 million 4,600 square foot home in Malibu. The
Wow. I'm surprised only $11 million when you have $3 billion. You know, 11 million isn't that much anymore.
home boasts stunning beach views from both stories of the home. The house has the added bonus of being a quick drive through a canyon road to reach the main offices of Viking Cruises in Woodland Hills. Of course,
Oh, he lives by his headquarters. That makes sense.
one beautiful beach home isn't enough when you're worth billions. Torstein owns
Yeah.
2 side-by-side luxury condos in Oslo. The cost,
Okay.
another $8 million.
Wow, to own a luxury condo in Oslo? That is pretty insane.
But he didn't stop there. He has a condo and a home. But what is a billionaire without a mansion or two? Hagen
Yeah.
has the pleasure of owning a mansion in Switzerland and in England, which rounds out his impressive list of properties. Number 3, Gustav Magnar Witzow.
Gustav Magnar Witzow. I've never heard of him. That's a very interesting name. A very, very European name.
We all dream of being young and rich, but very few people on
Yeah, he's very young. Look at him. He is young. I kind of didn't even acknowledge that.
Magnar Witzow. We all dream of being young and rich, but very few people on Earth get to experience what that actually feels like. The next person on our list, Gustav Magnar Witzow, is one of those lucky people, with a net worth of $3.2 billion.
3.2 billion. He's so young. Does that mean he inherited a company or something?
At only 26 years old,
Wow.
Gustav is truly living the dream. So, how does a 26-year-old make that kind of money? Well,
Yeah.
he had a little help from his father.
Yeah, I thought so.
Actually, a lot of help. Gustav's father gifted him half the shares of Salmar ASA, which
Okay, yeah. I don't hold any ill will towards. I, it's not their fault they were born the son of a billionaire. It's just complete luck. Nothing against them. They can't control that. So I say, yeah, it's all good.
is one of the world's most popular salmon producers. I love salmon. Gustav
Oh, a salmon producer. I know salmon and fish is a big export and part of the economy in Norway, an important part. I had learned that. Interesting. I didn't realize you could become so incredibly wealthy off of that, though.
doesn't do much work in regards to his father's business. Instead, he focuses mainly on investing in tech startups, as many millionaire millennials do.
Yeah, he just okay. He's just living the life, just a billionaire investing in random tech startups. Yeah, I'm just jealous. I'm jealous.
So, he's that young and he's got that money. But did I mention that he has a modeling career?
Okay. Okay, I don't know about this now. I don't know about this.
Gustav is signed to one of the top models.
He is, I mean, maybe I'm just jealous. It's not fair. How can you be a billionaire, get to invest in all these companies, and be this super beautiful, handsome, young guy? It's not fair. All this happening to one person. Man, I just wish it were me, I guess. I'm just...
modeling agencies in Norway and is frequently photographed in places like Dubai, Switzerland, and the Caribbean. He seems to spend most of his money on typical billionaire things, including skiing, yachting, and purebred dogs. Number 2, Kiel Ingi Roque.
There's no way that's how you pronounce his name. I've never heard of this man either. Igne Roque? Yeah, I don't know.
It's no surprise that the majority of billionaires in Norway earned their fortune through oil.
Oil, I was gonna say, that was what I was thinking at the beginning of this. Where are all the oil billionaires, right?
Fishing or shipping. All of the country's main cities lie against the ocean, so the country thrives off of those booming industries. Kiel Inge Roque was well aware of this.
I would think if you're an oil tycoon in Norway, you would be one of the richest possible people in Norway.
And he made his fortune in all three. Unlike some people on this list, Kiel didn't come from wealth. He began his career at 18 as a fisherman with hardly any money.
See, I can't help it. I like stories like this more than the other guy where, when he was 18, he was just this humble little fisherman, and then years later, he's this crazy billionaire. That's a fun story of, forging your own success in life. That's admirable.
He worked out of Alaska for years, saving up his money until he was able to buy his own fishing vessel. He eventually formed American Seafoods Company.
Wow, so he had a company kind of before the other companies and the oil stuff.
Over time, using his wealth from the American Seafoods Company, he became the majority shareholder of Aker, a powerful holding company that dabbles in engineering, bioscience, oil, and fishing. The two companies eventually merged, giving Kiel his immense wealth.
Okay, he didn't necessarily create Aker, the second company. He just became like the #1 shareholder. But still, still a cool story.
However, Kiel doesn't spend most of his fortune on mansions. He signed the Giving Pledge, promising to give away the majority of his wealth to charitable causes.
I love him. I love him. That's amazing. That's fantastic. What more can you say? It's like you become this super successful you start from nothing, become a billionaire, and then you maintain that integrity, humbleness, and most importantly, that giving nature, that care for your fellow man, where you're like, I don't need billions of dollars myself. I can be rich, and I don't need billions. I'll give it to charity. That's so great. I love that.
He founded the REV Ocean Initiative, a non-profit that works with the World Wildlife Fund to...
The thing is, while I'm still on this train of thought, you can live and a crazy, wonderful life with millions of dollars. You don't need billions of dollars. So,
to further understand and protect our oceans. He also commissioned a yacht, but it's not the kind you're probably thinking of. This yacht replaced hot tubs, bars, and lounges with beakers, technology, and science labs. The 600-foot-long ship can accommodate up to 60 scientists and 30
wow,
crew members, and will go on several research missions.
that's pretty cool. He's doing cool stuff with his money, too.
And finally, number 1, Odd Rayton.
Odd Ratan. Odd Ratan? I'm not how you pronounce it. I don't know this individual, but the first name Odd is, that's a word in English. Odd. So that's kind of a funny first name to an American.
The wealthiest person in Norway is Odd.
Oh, this is the wealthiest person in Norway. So I'm guessing all Norwegians are familiar with Odd.
Rayton, with a net worth of $5.6 billion.
I'm surprised that it's so low. You know, low. Still $5.6 billion. Outrageous amount of money. Extremely wealthy. But when you have people in like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk that have like hundreds of billions of dollars, you lose sight of things. But 5.6 billion, I can easily see why that is the richest man in all of Norway.
So, where did his fortune come from? Oil, shipping, construction? Well, not exactly. Odd is another person on my list who gained his fortune through owning and operating grocery stores.
Grocery stores? Wow. The richest man in Norway isn't in oil or some kind of export. It's grocery stores. That's actually really fascinating.
Was fresh out of high school and rocking a fresh, stylish haircut. Odd went into business with his father by opening a grocery store. In 1979, the stores had grown in popularity, so Odd founded Rema 1000, a
Wow.
chain of discount stores that soared to success.
Rema 1000. Is this a pretty popular store in Norway? I'm not sure what they sell or what they do, but this is a very interesting
The
story.
chain eventually found its way to Spain, Denmark, Sweden, Poland, Hungary, and Slovakia. He went
Oh, so he has had success with this chain of stores globally. That explains how he's so wealthy.
on to form the Rayton Group, which is the parent company behind several fuel stations, grocery
Okay.
stores, and discount store chains in Norway. With its
Yeah, that's how you actually get mega rich, right? You expand throughout Norway, then you expand throughout the other countries in the world and become a global company and then make $5 billion or something, right? No big deal.
fortune, Odd went on to buy some lavish properties. He owns a stunning property in Norway and also a large mansion in Marbella, Spain, where he can
Okay.
escape the frigid Norwegian winters. So,
Okay.
there you have it, the 5 wealthiest people in Norway. What do you think of how they earned their fortune? How would you spend your money if you had that much? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.
Wow, okay, that's it. That was by Mr. Luxury. Wow, I liked that. I liked that a lot. That was exactly what I was hoping to see from a list of the richest people in Norway. And I was actually pretty happy to see most of them are self-made. They created companies that found massive success. One of them even decided to donate a lot of his wealth to charity, which I think is wonderful. And, one of them, the young guy who I just want to be, is like 26 and a model and like a billionaire. So, okay, good for him, fine. But a lot of these guys own companies that I've never heard of that exist in Norway and Europe. And they've just found massive, massive success. So that's really cool. What can you say? I was thinking I wouldn't have heard of any of these people, which is kind of why I wanted to learn about it, and I didn't know any of these people. Are these individuals pretty well known in Norway? I expect so, right? Because they own some of the most important industries in Norway. And a lot of grocery stores and convenience stores. I wasn't expecting that at all. That was really interesting. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this reaction, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway, Norwegian culture, Norwegian stuff I've never seen or learned before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.